Well, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is I, your favorite whimsy. Yes, of all of the naturopathic doctors named Whimsy that have ever lived in this apartment, I am your very, very favorite. I am the best naturopathic doctor of all the naturopathic doctors in the world that are named Whimsy. I think I might be the best. All right, let's get myself organized here while people find the stream. This is our morning chat where we get together and you can ask the remote viewer any questions you have. No personal readings, sorry folks. But we do answer quite basic questions about naturopathic medicine and all that good stuff. Let's put a nice picture up. Okay, let's put a nice picture up. Something positive, don't you think? I mean, something that's, let's see, what do I got here? Oh, that's nice. There's a nice picture of me. It's one of my old shoots from a couple of years ago. That's how pretty you can look when they, what are they? You airbrush stuff, is that right? Okay, I'm just getting a little organized while people find the stream. I have not spoken today, so I might have to clear my throat. I'm just doing my little bit of organizing. Getting over COVID. Not fun. Don't recommend it. It went on for a long, long time, and that's not good. I think of my lungs as being my weakest organ, definitely. And so now I'm doing a lot as a as a naturopathic doctor. I'm just trying to practice what I preach, which is kind of what we're going to be having a conversation about today. Since many of you had questions for me about good old-fashioned Victorian medicine. I'm a Victorian doctor, right? I'm a Victorian. So I'm going to look at the most cheap, inexpensive way to help you get well with the least amount of invasive treatment, right? Cheers, everyone. L'chaim, l'chaim. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Susan Crone. If you could like, subscribe, and share, think about memberships, all that good stuff really helps me to continue to teach and share my work. Because I don't want to go back out there, man. I studied too hard. Yeah, lung issues. Oh, I forgot a nerve. Hold on a second. Okay. Healing my lungs. Healing your lungs. I don't have any cordyceps. Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to order some cordyceps. Cordyceps mushroom is helpful in it does a lot of good stuff. Excuse me. Wow. Just trying to heal myself here. Cordyceps mushroom has been studied because it helps with gas exchange. It's not that expensive compared to others. I think I'm going to go with that one. Yeah, so you can mix cordyceps with reishi, which is the herb of the immortal. That's what Paul Stamets does if you're trying to increase gas exchange. I'm just going to order this because I was supposed to order it before. I got to take my cordyceps, the magical mushrooms, right? You want to take the magical mushrooms. Anyway, so you folks had asked me if I could talk a little bit about some of the herbs that I've been using to help with the lungs and what I've been boiling. Now, some of you have talked about essential oils, and I do have some essential oils, but I am very different, perhaps, than some of the other herbalists in the sense that I don't use a lot of essential oil, and instead I like to use the raw herb, minimally processed. And I like to get my extractions through heat, vinegar, lemon can do an extraction. Oil can be an extraction depending upon what you're trying to extract. For example, if you were treating yourself with Amanita muscaria for alcoholism or depression, it can be soaked in vinegar and put in the sun. You can put it in and then just let it heat up and cook. And that would be one way of getting an extraction, or you could boil it in vinegar water, and that would be another way that you would do an extraction. The first herb I was going to talk to people about is eucalyptus, and it contains eugenol and the menthols, but the eugenol is helpful for breathing and asthma. This is what it looks like. You can see it's rather a pretty leaf. If you live in an area where there's eucalyptus, you can talk to the plant and take some of the leaves, and those can be put in boiling water, or you can actually boil. You can put things in a sachet. I like to put things to make it so it's not a big mess. You can put it in a sachet and boil mixtures of herbs. Oops. Anyway, this would be eucalyptus. And I usually will do a inhalation treatment with eucalyptus if you want to improve your lung health and you want to do it naturally and you're having trouble with symptoms like asthma. You want to keep your home dust-free, pet dander, etc., which is an air filter. An anti-inflammatory diet is usually recommended to reduce inflammatory symptoms, and we recommend eucalyptus. Small amounts can be used in tea, but also to make it can be boiled to make a hot water, and then you can put a towel over and then breathe the eucalyptus. Now, if you want to add other things to support lung health, cordyceps and reishi are the mushrooms. It's called cordyce. It's sold by Paul Stamets to help increase gas exchange. Antimicrobials that can be helpful to the lungs include oregano leaf, which I also Look, I have 400 herbs. I don't expect people to run off and buy 400 herbs, right? I have a full operating medicinary in my home because I'm a naturopath. I make the teas for people. If you need to come in and see me, it's a Zoom call. We do your total intake, and then the herbs are shipped to you, usually within a week. But this is oregano oil. So I did a combination of eucalyptus and oregano oil. Other things that are antimicrobial, rosemary is also antimicrobial. You can use a little bit of that. Thyme is antimicrobial, and there's been some interesting studies on thyme. It's almost like you're making a soup or something. So you put it all in a sachet and you boil it down in a couple quarts of water, and then you've got uh, a mother concentrate, and you can warm that up and use it for steam inhalation, or you can take a couple tablespoons of that to hot water and drink it. But here's some thyme. And of course, mullein. People had asked me about mullein. It's big, broad leaves, and it's used to soothe and coat the alimentary system, the digestive system, and also the lungs. As is marshmallow, both of which can be soothing. This is marshmallow. Ginger is anti-inflammatory. We've talked about the fact that it's also good for nausea, and ginger also, I love ginger. It's just so good. It makes me think of Japanese food, right? And sushi. Like I'm starting to crave sushi, right? It also contains salicylates, that are basically what makes commercial aspirin, like willow bark and ginger. And so, for that reason, it will help with fever. It will help with nausea and some of the aches and pains. There are a whole selection of antimicrobial drying herbs that you can find in the Greek islands like Crete. There's the Greek sage, which, as you can tell this time of year, I'm using quite a bit of it. It's both to kill infections in the digestive tract, but also help with clearing too much mucus in the lungs. Of course, I do a good quality organic honey with my tea. Two others that are great for bronchial infection that come from the Greek islands and are a part of the blue zone also include the Greek mountain tea, which is like a flower. I think it's the flower of the sage. They're just calling it Greek mountain tea. And Dittany of Crete, which I think I've shown you this before. It has a nice fuzz on it. If you think about doctrine of signatures, it will remove the fuzz on your tongue, and it shows like a fuzz on the tongue of the leaf. And so it's really great for cleaning out the digestive system and getting rid of the fuzz of the tongue, which can be waste products, too much heat in the body, etc. In terms of the most common studied antimicrobials, elderberry. You can see the elderberry. People will get syrup. It can be syrup and glycerin, or you can do an elderberry tea. Who doesn't love elderberry? I think that's all I had. Peppermint also. You can do peppermint, which contains some of the menthols that can be helpful for breathing as well. So that should give you some ideas of things that may be in your home. Eucalyptus leaves are not expensive, and you can go to the store, and sometimes they will sell eucalyptus leaves just because they smell good. And what you can do is you can just pick them and store them in a nice lid. Usually they store pretty well if it's been sealed. I go through herbs so quickly, I don't really worry about herbs aging too soon. Well, let's get to some questions. Hi, everybody. Hi, LeMans Girl. Hi, Queen D. What do you recommend for arthritis and inflammation? Usually the anti-inflammatory diet is the first thing we recommend for arthritis and inflammation. You can also do topical treatments with some of the creams that are anti-inflammatory, like the arthritis, also capsaicin. I think I'm pronouncing that right, which is hot peppers, hot pepper cream. Uh, uh, also, think about hydrotherapy. Hydrotherapy can also be helpful. Lung issues, yeah, it's a problem right now. Chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, there's a couple things going on. First off, with fibromyalgia, we worry about low oxygen. So the person is not getting enough oxygen to the tissue. So again, we would put them on an anti-inflammatory diet. Caffeine is associated, too much caffeine with fibromyalgia. And so the first thing we would look at would be caffeine consumption. We would also look at the adaptogenic herbs. And the adaptogenic herbs are, we think about Schisandra, rhodiola, ashwagandha, the erythrococcus or Siberian ginseng. Adrenal Health by Gaia Herbs is nice. I would also put the person on a B complex, probably fish oil. I would probably try to get them to do some stretching to increase oxygen. And I would have them do breathing exercises to increase oxygen. Of course, cordyceps and reishi to increase oxygen exchange in the lungs. And I would do massage to increase circulation and strengthen the core, because it's often, but caffeine or any caffeine, alcohol, anything that's going to, but it's really more caffeine is vasoconstrictive and it could block oxygen to the tissue. So we usually pull caffeine from people with fibromyalgia. Yeah, you used my COVID window up to wean off anxiety meds. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I would have probably recommended adrenal health as well, adrenal support. If you are consuming mushrooms for health, remember that all mushrooms are beneficial to health. So, but we recommend that they be cooked and not to do a raw mushroom. They're activate, they're safe, and that you can prevent certain conditions if you just cook them. Paul Stamets is the go-to person if you'd like to learn about mushroom therapy. I recommend Paul Stamets. If you'd like to know more about herbal medicine, my favorite herbalist is Matthew Wood, and I saw he commented. He's not a fan of, we disagree on vaccination, just because I think going without vaccination puts other people's lives at risk, not just your own. And the data shows that vaccination is safer than not getting vaccinated for most people. So, but he is a great herbalist. I respect him a lot, and I really enjoy hearing his stories. A spinal fracture, you just need time with spinal fractures. Comfrey compresses are traditionally used when you have a fracture. Comfrey can help heal with, vitamin C and collagen is also given, vitamin D. Yeah. Not all mushrooms, yes, but, not all eucalyptus? Uh, well, if you're doing an inhalation, you don't have to worry. We're not recommending you have a lot of it, but putting one leaf, a little bit in your tea is probably not going to hurt you. Yeah. I don't drink eucalyptus personally. I don't drink it. I use it as an inhalation. What I like to drink, which is drying and has been used, is the sage and the Greek mountain herbs and the dittany. Those are, particularly if you've got a lot of mucus. And that was actually the tea I had. That was my evening tea last night. and I just put it in a tea bag. You can get tea bags on Amazon if you want to use a paper, the undyed paper. You can fill them and then just let it steep in boiling water for a few minutes and add some nice organic honey. I like to get my honey with a little bit of wax in it, like the good quality honeys. The Madeira, is that what it's called? I need to put my air conditioner on. Yeah, I like to have it in the wax too. If you can do that, that's awesome. It's so good for you. Great antimicrobial. Wow, I've got so many herbs in front of me right now. It's really so. I wanted to share some spiritual lessons with everybody that I just in terms of stuff that I'm going through, and maybe it can be helpful to you as well. So let's have a conversation about our emotional health. Would you guys like to talk about emotional health? I must get my coffee while I have this conversation with you. Oh, it's right over here. Isn't that lovely? So, one of the things that I've been looking at since I got back from Sweden, many of you know I went to Sweden for a couple weeks, almost 2 weeks, and I did some hydrotherapy, and I was also studying Wim Hof. I think I have his book somewhere around here. Wim Hof is someone who helps get people to do hydrotherapy, get into the ice baths, etc. So I was doing a lot of this kind of healing work when I was in Sweden. And I really came back from Sweden changed. I was profoundly changed by the work I did in Sweden. I fasted for 5 days on ice water, and I was doing ice baths and healing from COVID and norovirus and all the other icky, awful stuff that I caught on planes. And I came to realize that if I am a defensive person, which I am, then I need to be very careful about who and what has access to me. And specifically, I'm talking about the time we're spending on YouTube, which is fine if you love YouTube as much as I do. But if you're spending all day long reading about terrorism and the 45th president and stuff that is causing you to feel vulnerable, then you're going to be more defensive. It's not going to be good for my mental health. I can't speak for anybody else, but I was in a very, very dark place for a very, very long time. I know what I need to do to keep myself healthy. I have a doctoral degree in medicine, so in naturopathic medicine. So, and I'm a lifelong student of naturopathic medicine. But all of us can have things happen to us that make us broken, right? We become broken, and then we can get into a very dark place of self-destruction and obsessive compulsive thoughts, and we can be trapped in In Buddhism, they're called bardos, just bad places where we can be in very, very bad psychological places. And so my advice to you from just helping myself is watch your thoughts. If you find yourself obsessively thinking about the people or persons that did you wrong, or everything, horrible in the world, it's going to pull you down. And we can grieve the past and we can learn from the past, but I really took away from my own healing experience that we have to go forward in life. And the only way we can, like Night Angel talking about terrible things right now, like these things get into our system and they upset us. And I would just caution people to be careful about how much negative stuff you're taking in. Watch how much, Epstein, how much of that do you want to really, Gaza and October 7th and the hostages. And we pray for ourselves and we meditate and we send healing to ourselves and we pray for others. But it's very important to protect yourself and to be aware of how mental illness is contagious. And so when we are around people who are imbalanced, including ourselves, by the way, the first thing we have to do is stop and assess, and we have to take care of ourselves. And that includes watching what we're taking in. So if you're a news junkie like I am, ask yourself, what is my purpose in life? If your purpose in life is to be the best naturopathic doctor and remote viewer you can be, then sitting around watching depressive things that make you want to smoke weed, I can't even imagine. Like the person I am today, I can't even imagine smoking marijuana. It's like, this is such a foreign concept to me. Like, why in God's name would I do such a thing? It's so not my personality. But I understand getting into these dark places, and instead I'm focusing on how to feed my soul and take care of myself so that I can be of service to others, which is really the best thing that I can do to make the world a better place. Sitting around being depressed about all the horrible things in the world, getting addicted to these horrible negative stories is not good for my psyche. So cleaning up my diet, pescatarian for me, mostly pescatarian is the best diet for me. Reducing sugar. You don't have to be an extremist, by the way. I don't believe in extreme diets, but care about yourself enough to, eat healthy and take a walk every day and get some fresh air. And I'm meditating and chanting. Chanting and listening to mantras can be very therapeutic, especially first thing in the morning when we're waking up and we want to start our day with something positive. And so I'll often put on is that her name? What's her last name? Is it Tin Tom? Something like that. Is it Tina Tin? I can't even remember. It's 6 a.m. But she has the Zen music channel, and Tina Tan, is that her name? But she does some nice, particularly if you are studying remote viewing, HCRV version, which we are heavily influenced by the Vajrayana teachings. So out of Tibet. So if that jives with you and you're trying to connect with your own internal higher self, so that you can be strengthened in the world, so that you can go out and do your work, you might want to check out her channel. I also like Snotnam Kaur. She has some nice She has some nice music for the mornings, some morning mantras in the Sikh tradition that I really, really like. Um, yeah. So I've just cleaned up my diet a lot. I went back to my chanting, my mantras. I do all kinds of mantras. Back to back to my studies as an herbalist, as a naturopath, because these are the things I can control. And how can I be present for you as a remote viewer? How can I be present for my patients, to be truly patient, to pray for every patient who comes, and to be sincere as a doctor, and to give each individual the attention that they deserve and require in order to heal their lives. So that requires me to be functional. That requires me to be in good physical shape and in good mental shape. And to do that is a full-time job. So that won't leave you a lot of time to be engrossed in the toxic. You know, give yourself 15 minutes of reading the news, but take a moment maybe to reflect on, is this good for your mental health? You know, is this good for us? This is also why Chuck and I have talked. Chuck is actually quite a medium. He's very humble. He doesn't like to share his mediumship because it's just too personal for him, but he's quite brilliant. And we talk about always praying before we do our work because it's important not to fall into this kind of negativity. Anyway, so that is what I wanted to share, and hopefully it can, you know, monks and people that do amazing spiritual work, they isolate. You don't want to be completely isolated from the world, but be careful about who has access to you and what gets into your brain, because if you're like me, we can fall into some very dark periods, and then it's spiraling downward. And at that point, the dysfunction that you hate becomes you. And then we find ourselves behaving in ways that are toxic. Yeah, so talking about how you hate Donald Trump, or I don't want to hate anybody, certainly not some mentally ill, a person who is mentally ill and is experiencing cognitive decline, hating them for something that they literally have no control over. Because when you are insane, you don't have personal control. So to be angry at somebody who is not in their right mind is not rational. And to be manipulated into, you know, breaking into teams and clans, and we're going to fight this person, it's just a low vibration. And instead focus on what we can all do to complete our mission in the world. You know, what is your mission? What are you called to do? I know why I'm on the planet. I know why I'm here. I'm here to be the best doctor I can be, the best remote viewer, for the purpose of empowering you with the information that you need to get control of your life. That I know who I am, I know why I'm here, and I'm not confused. So anything that is a waste of my time and is not helping me to fulfill my mission is something I need to be avoiding. Yeah, so that's why I don't like to speak ill of anyone. It's not the vibration I want to be at. Personally, I'm not proud of myself for my past behavior. Screaming at Elon Musk. He's not going to listen, and he's just going to shut me out and laugh. It's not going to accomplish anything other than make me feel like I'm not in control of my own emotions, right? So, pray for yourself. Go inward, heal, love yourself enough to become as functional as you can be. And if you have any energy left, pray for others and help others, but never if it threatens your own health and safety. Temper your compassion with wisdom and boundaries. That's what I would share today with the community about my own recovery, because I am an imperfect human being. And I can't even believe people have tolerated me. I've been so dark. Thank you, by the way, for still being here. But that's not where I'm headed. I'm not headed in that direction anymore. I only want to go forward. I only want to be the best expression of myself as an instrument for the good. And I need to take responsibility for who and what has access to me if it obstructs my path. And it's like Miss Mabel, one of our spirit guides, Miss Mabel says, be about your business, child. Well, I'm upset about what business is of yours, but I'm upset about Donald Trump. That is not going to help you in your mission. Now I can pray. I can be active and talk to people who don't know who they're going to vote for about why I chose to vote for Kamala and Walz. But other than that, the other person is not your responsibility. They need to go out and find their destiny for themselves. And that goes for former lovers, relationships. He needs to understand this. Well, you know what? Clearly he doesn't want to hear from you. So if somebody is shutting you out, the only thing you can do is speak your truth, take care of yourself, and then that person's going to go do whatever they need to do. You have no control at that point other than to just live your truth, serve, help create the world that we are here to create. Hold people accountable, stay away from toxic people. If you need to sue people, sue them, but don't let it destroy you in the process. And in my case, I was letting the negativity of the world destroy me. It was harming my health. It was harming my mental and my physical health. And so I needed to change. And it was not fair to my patients, because if I'm not functioning, how can I serve? Right? So that is everything I wanted to share with you, along with the amazing herbs I'm blessed to, the teas that I'm blessed, the medicinaries I'm blessed to make for you all. The good stuff. I want to be a force for good in the world. And not to say that fighting back doesn't have a place. I know how to fight. I just would rather avoid all of that. Okay. Like, you have your opinion, and I just need to keep on my path. Go forward. Go forward. That's the message from Spirit. You cannot change the past. It has already happened. You have no control over them being consumed by whether they'll choose this or whether. You have no control. All you can do is go forward, keep yourself clean and healthy, and stay on your path. Yeah. Okay, so let's do the empath's prayer, and then we will blitz, blitz, blitz away. Does that work for everybody? Shine on, harvest moon, for me and my gal. Shine on. All right. Okay. Join me if you know the prayer. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen. All right. Ooh, thank you, Elizabeth. She gave the order to blitz, blitz, blitz away. I love it. Well, let's see if we have any good questions today. How does everybody liking the DNC? Did you have a good time watching it? I was very impressed by Hillary Clinton. I felt like she did a wonderful job. And yeah, it was pretty awesome to see her and the clarity with which she spoke. That certainly inspired me. Seeing Joe, of course, Joe Biden, with his daughter, that was really a beautiful. I did not watch the entire, of course, because I was very busy yesterday. Thank God I had many patients. But I did, at the end of the evening, make myself a nice herbal tea, and I did get to watch Hillary's speech, which I wanted to hear, and Joe's, and that was enough for me. And I really enjoyed that. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. I'm just checking the questions here. Empaths are extra sensitive to parasites. Psychic parasites? Absolutely. Yes. We have to protect our energy, and we ourselves can be psychic parasites. We human beings we can be contagious. So be a force for good. And, you know, my excitement about being an herbalist, my excitement about being interested in Vajrayana Buddhism and Mahayana and my chanting and taking care of myself, may it be an inspiration for you to embrace your own healing and to get back on the horse and to understand that your life is a life of meaning and value and to take your legacy seriously. This is the main message I've gotten from the spirit world. Who are you to play small, as Marianne Williamson would say? You are a child of God, right? A little less than the angels, right? That's what the Torah says. So to play small is a violation of the natural order. You are more powerful than you realize. And so it is incredibly important for us to be on our path and to follow it to the best of our ability and to complete the work and to leave a legacy for future generations that can raise the planet a little bit. With every life that is a life of meaning, we raise the planet a little bit. Trump and Epstein, yes, we talked about that there would be an expose, and I think 60 Minutes is going to cover it, and I think it'll be the nail in the coffin. I think that they're going to be speaking to former victims, and I think it's just another reminder that he's finished. It's sad because when you have someone this mentally ill, we have to think as a society, how can we see a child in trouble early on and intervene before this type of psychosis sets in, and not to be impressed by the fact that the parents have a lot of money or anything like that. It's very important for us to see the signs of developmental delays or other mental health problems rather than attacking Donald Trump it's not in me. It's not in me. As an empath, it's not my nature. What can we do to make sure that this type of mental illness is addressed early on? Because uh, it's just horrible suffering. I was watching a YouTube video about that child who had been horribly abused, sexually abused, etc. She was adopted along with her younger brother, and she showed signs of psychopathy. She was like sneaking into his bed and trying to stab him. And they basically diagnosed her as a full-blown psychopath. And she got in with a really good family. They were Christian. They were a Christian, but good Christian, like healthy, normal. And they loved her, and they prayed, and they sent her to counseling. And she was able to bond really deeply with them and heal her life. And she went on to be a remarkable nurse and to save many lives. She was led to her path of service and helped many people because she found a family and love and a connection to God that she understood and a higher purpose. So, why did she not become as mentally ill as she was? Certainly as mentally ill as Donald Trump, but then she was healed because she received the proper love and healing that she needed. So with early intervention, we can save these children. I don't believe that narcissists cannot be cured. This is not part of my teachings, both in the Torah. We, if you think about the wisdom of Judaism, people can change. We believe people can change. We know people can change. That's also a Christian value too. When you think about Saul going to kill Christians, right? Wasn't he on his way to Jerusalem, slaughtering a bunch of people? Then he has a revelation and he becomes Paul, right? So all throughout the Abrahamic tradition, we see that profound change can happen, even to people who we think could never change. And this is also an idea in Buddhism that by simply choosing to resonate with something higher and embrace that thing which is higher, that higher purpose, and understand that the past is dead, and that your ex-husband or boyfriend or the person you're having conflict with, your boss, etc., they're going to do whatever they have to do. That is their destiny. It is not your destiny. All you can do is heal yourself. Yeah, Nightingale, this is not something that I want to have. It has already happened. This is something that we have to understand. The horrible has already happened to those children, and now they're in their 40s, right? What can we do so that this doesn't ever happen again? What can we do right now to end human trafficking? That's really the conversation. Hold people accountable, remove these people from the general population. And what can we do so that this horror, the earth should not, we should not have such things on this earth. If we're trying to create heaven on earth, we should not have these things in our earth. Half the Sky by Nicholas Kristoff. Is a great book if you'd like to know more about things and people that are actually doing something. And if you'd like to also donate to some of those organizations, he has a list of organizations he supports in Half the Sky to make sure that human trafficking comes to an end. Oh, good, Nidya. I'm glad I helped. Yes, Jill looked amazing. She's very health conscious, and she takes really good care of her husband. They are a beautiful couple. I love what he said about seeing her come down the stairs and his heart goes pitter patter because she's so beautiful. And I love seeing how much they love each other. Yeah. Will Joe Biden pardon Michael Cohen? I don't think so, no. I don't think so. But we can go ahead and take a look. Maybe Kamala will. It's very controversial. Let's take a look. Will Michael Cohen be pardoned by Biden? Hillary looked amazing. Boy, a testimony for plant-based living, right? Her daughter's vegan. And so most of her meals, she's not 100% vegan, but she's mostly vegan. And boy, does it show, man. She's aging in reverse. She starts her day with a green smoothie. They all got into it when her husband had his heart surgery. I recommend the Protein and Greens by Paradise to start your day with that. And I put oat milk in it, which lowers cholesterol. And I also like to put some mixed fruits and flax for the omegas. And that is the Dr. Whimsy shake recipe that I share with everybody. ORAC, or Protein and Greens by the company Paradise, not to be confused with other protein and greens, specifically that one because it has the adaptogenic herbs and the mushrooms, which are really vital to longevity. So that is why I choose the Paradise. It's the best on the market. Okay. Michael Cohen being pardoned. He is looking at his pardons. He is going to start pardoning people. The master at his desk. Michael Cohen grieving. There's still a tremendous amount of grief that Michael Cohen has because of everything he lost by getting involved with Donald Trump. He lost his law license. He had to spend time in prison. He was publicly humiliated, the death threats, everything that he lost. So the opposition card, Cohen, is the grief card. Here's Biden, the mastery card. So yes, he's going to be doing several pardons. He is wary of pardoning him. This is Joe Biden. He is wary of this. I don't know why. It could be because it's politically hot. No, I think he has conflict. I think he has real conflict. A lot of people want him to pardon Leonard Peltier. That went on for years. There was real evidence that Leonard Peltier was innocent, right? So a lot of people should have been pardoned and didn't get pardoned. I don't think so, no. It's too soon. However, in the future, it's possible. Right now, no. Two of Swords. Cohen will be okay financially. Books he's writing, speaking engagements, etc. His finances are okay. Biden's legacy, the 10 of Pentacles. Again, we go back to this whole idea of he's very aware of what he wants to leave the American people. The sadness of leaving, and Knight of Pentacles, it's over, but I do not see him pardoning Cohen. And look, maybe he will and have a change of heart, but right now it's leaning against it. Let's see if Kamala does it. Okay, well, Kamala pardon Michael Cohen. She's looking into it because for her, it's more as a prosecutor and deals we make. And so she's looking at it more as a prosecutor. So she has a different view than Biden. She's going to review the case. she's working with strong people who have a list of these are the people that should be pardoned, and here's why. Reaching across the aisle, lover, and then the final outcome for her with Cohen, movement. Yes, it's possible that Kamala will pardon him. She has a list of people she's going to be pardoning, and it's based more on being a prosecutor. Yes, there's Cohen. I think it's likely that Kamala will. Yeah. It's just too soon and it's too controversial. And he may feel that it was just, it's something that he feels would be too political. However, uh, it may happen in the future. Yeah. Oh, Warnock, yes. Pastor Warnock. You waited 2 hours. Wow, I bet it was worth it. Oh, good. Yeah, bring on the herbal teas. They're really good. So, that is where we are at right now. We are just trying to make the world a better place, one herbal tea at a time. And yeah, I'm not doing tinctures because of the alcohol. And there are other ways to do extractions that I find, like vinegar extraction and heat. There's plenty of ways to get an herb into your system, making it bioavailable without having to use alcohol. And so, yeah, I've heard some amazing things, like Paul Stamets was talking in not Paul Stamets, Matthew Wood was talking about a woman who had mushroom poisoning and, oh, I'm dying, take me to the hospital. And he didn't have anything but milk thistle seeds, and they can get into your system relatively quickly. And he said, well, chew on these milk thistle seeds. And she was dying on her way to the hospital in the ambulance. I can see heaven. I can see them welcoming me. She was like right there. And then she says, as she's chewing, she says, oh, this was the right remedy. And then she gets to the hospital and they're like, well, we'll release you in the morning. We're stuck with each other, right? So she was healed with milk thistle seeds. So I thought that was kind of funny story about the power of herbs. Yeah. Any other questions today? Does anybody else have anything you need me to be looking at, or any questions about naturopathic medicine? We've been together about an hour, but I can stay a little longer. Are we good? We've got 245 people. That's a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people up in the morning. I assume you're all on the East Coast. If you some of you maybe got up at 6 in the morning. I don't know. I looked at the clock. I laid in bed and then I got up at 4:45 and checked the clock. Yeah, so it was good. Well, the big surprise is that the protesters, the pro-Iranian protesters that want to kill Israel, what did the one guy say? We're going to start with the Jews and then we're going to kill the Christians. It's like, you probably aren't going to be happy here in the United States. It's like, let's see. Any surprises? Yeah, they broke through the barrier. They want to disrupt the DNC. The money is traced back to Iran. So that's kind of funny. People are coming to Kamala, and they're trying to get jobs, and there are Republicans that are trying to be nice to her because they want to be part of her administration. There is this feeling of many Republicans jumping the ship. It's like, who's going to be the first in the water? We have a strong president now. This is Biden. So he's a very, very strong. Here's the race. Remember, a chariot in an election is a race. Our wish, also Kamala, and you can see Knight of Cups. We're being wooed. It's like Kennedy. He says, "Give me a job in your administration, and I won't run." Yes, but you're attracting independents who voted for Trump. So the truth of the matter is, Kennedy should stay in the race because he's draining Trump more than Kamala Harris right now. So I just see people reaching across the aisle to try and work with her because they see this. Yeah, you can see again his legacy, the race, mastery, an inverted Two of Cups. So people are open to her, and then you can see the Knight of Cups. You have Republicans for Kamala, etc. So she has quite a bit of momentum. I think it's going to be very, very difficult. I'd be curious to see how Donald Trump is doing, just because. Oh, hi, Sarah Eschweiler. It's good to see you. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Oh, I'm seeing some questions here. Weight loss. Yes. If you're looking at appetite suppression, green tea is one of the best appetite suppressants out there. And so having green tea throughout the day, boiling leaves was what the peasants would do so that they wouldn't feel the pain of hunger in the rice fields. And so they would drink, and it also contained nutrients, right? And some sugars. So this is why the peasants would boil leaves and drink them. So when we think about some of those teas, any green tea is going to be an appetite suppressant. Yeah. And also it's a thermoregulator, and it's also helpful in prevention of certain types of cancer growth. It seems to inhibit cancer growth, which is why oncologists recommend drinking green tea. So that is my first thought, would be to start drinking green tea, and the other would be to move towards Eat to Live by Joel Fuhrman, which is a predominantly plant-based diet, and then add animal protein in. That's first we recommend is fish. So you would start with a plant-based foundation, and if you feel you need more protein, fish and egg whites and low-fat dairy if you love dairy. Yeah. But it should be no more than 10 to 20% of total caloric intake. And then try not to eat late at night. Like last night, well, I actually had Cheerios. When you're recovering and you're not doing that well, you want something quick and easy. I'm doing too much dairy, by the way. But yeah, those are some of the suggestions I would have for weight loss. Cure for chronic. We usually look at the data on things like biocidin. Biocidin has some interesting studies. Yeah. Neuropathy. We look at neurological repair, which would be the fatty acids, the omega-3s, which will help with myelin sheath formation. And we also recommend the B vitamins. Acetylcholine has been recommended. And also spinal adjustments in case the neuropathy is due to spinal compression, stretching, anything like Pilates that is going to get you to elongate and stretch the spine to take pressure off the spinal cord. And specifically, if it's in the feet, we would look at compression in L1, L2, L3, L4, S1, S2, the lumbars and the sacrum. So you want to open up the spine and help with compression. Yeah. Oh, you're in France. Very nice. That's one of the nice things about getting up early is that we get more international people. Australia, 11:30. Okay. Good morning, California. You're up early like me. Okay. Sorry, Whimsy, I've asked twice now, different days, about housing prices and interest rates. Is this the wrong forum for this question? I think we already covered it and said that things would probably not change in the spring. Maybe you didn't hear me. I think we covered it on Sunday, but we can do it again. Housing prices and interest rates in the coming months. Yes, you can take green tea capsules if you want to, but I think drinking green tea is the cheapest way. I love Cheerios. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Housing prices. Housing prices. Defending your land. Defending your land. Look at that. 7 of Wands is what the universe gives us. You know, just feeling like everything is hitting us at once. So we may begin to feel like we're never going to be able to buy property. We have Kamala coming in and trying to create affordable housing units. The great irony is that this is something that is near and dear to Elon Musk's heart. You know, he's got the $50,000 house, and he's invested in those types of eco-friendly houses that cost $50,000 through 3D printing. So come back to the Democratic Party, man. What the hell are you doing? Get off the ketamine. Call your daughter. You could make plenty of money by joining us. We're defending the land. You can see reaching across the aisle. Here is government assistance, and there could be legal action against mortgage companies, etc. We could see the feds coming in. You know, this is leftist justice, right? It's justice for all. And yes, there will be, and you can see here, assistance and also legal action. Look at this, we're having to defend. It's similar to what happened when people lost their homes under Bush Jr., where these horrible people just came and stole people's houses. It's horrible with these crazy contracts. Yes, you can also see Ace of Cups coming in, the law, and hopes and fears, the crazy prices, slow and steady wins the race. Yes, February. This is my February card. Situational will improve for the better in February of 2025. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Support for urinary tract infection, gallium. Gallium is used. Uva ursi for urinary tract infections is used, and so is juniper berry. Marshmallow, mullein, and slippery elm can be soothing to the alimentary and to the bladder. But we think about uva ursi, cranberry, and juniper, and gallium or cleavers is the common name. Cleavers has also been cooling. They can be made into a tea and drank cold. And also it can be applied to the area. You can apply compresses of the tea to the affected area. And you may want to think about massage with coconut oil of the area, and also energy healing to the area, where you chant and send divine healing and picture healing to the area. All of those things can be helpful. Oh, then you would want to do a diluted tea. You don't have to have it be strong. So some people will just dip it twice. Uh, you don't have to have strong green tea. It can be a light green tea, and you don't want the tea bag to soak more than 2 minutes, or that will give it an astringent flavor. It should only be soaked for 1 to 2 minutes. Try 2 cups to 1 tea bag soaked for 1 minute, and try having it throughout the day cold, and I'm sure it will not be quite that bad. Don't soak it. Don't soak the green tea bag for more than 1 to 2 minutes. Otherwise, it has the flavor you're talking about. CSR Crohn, left-sided paralysis since a stroke in 2022. Lion's mane is good, but the main thing is we want brain repair. And so fish oil is the main thing, or omegas. If you're a vegan, we recommend high amounts of DHA from plants. But DHA is the building block of gray matter. You know, it's one of the most important things we can do. B complexes also can be helpful in building nerves, and increasing oxygen is one of the best things. So deep breathing and yogic exercises can also be helpful. In terms of the best diet, we recommend low-fat, vegan diet, and even fasting, which will help to clear the arteries if you have high cholesterol. And that's because the fatty streaks get consumed by the body. Just like when I fasted for 5 days on water, your body has nothing to eat. So it's going to eat the glycogen in your liver first, and then it's going to move on to the fat. And so it's going to move on to the fat in your arteries, the fat that's stored in the body. And so fasting is one of the fastest ways to lower cholesterol. And that's why if you look at True North out of Santa Rosa, California, it's a place where people go to fast, and people stay healthy because they're, some people have stayed as long as 40 days fasting. But True North, True North, what is it, in Santa Rosa, California. I'll give you the link. Accommodations and fees. Yes, that sounds good. I think it's rather affordable because all you're doing is being seen by a doctor and a controlled fast. So they might start with having you on a vegan diet, which would be brown rice and vegetables and beans and all that good stuff. And then they would pull it to just steamed vegetables and then fruit. And then from there, you would do a complete water fast. And they have doctors there. And the doctors are checking your blood. They're checking your levels. So it's completely safe. It's one of the most controlled. It's the most responsible way to fast. Fasting, just like an animal will go to the water and drink and fast, it's one of the best things you can do to heal yourself. Obviously, if you're a diabetic, if you're an insulin diabetic, then they would work with you so that it would just be diet and controlled feedings. But True North is the way to go. I'm a doctor, so I don't go to True North. I just do it myself. I slowly withdraw from food and then enter into a fasting state. And then I also do the hydrotherapy. Hydrotherapy is extremely important for your immune system, but also for overall health. And that can be alternating steam, hot baths, and then cold water to tolerance. It might only be from the tap at 60 degrees, or you might be somebody who is strong enough to do ice water. Right now, I'm doing ice water. I'm filling my tub with cold water, and then if you can just sit in the tub in cold water that can be incredibly beneficial. Just sit in a cold water. And if you're able, and then if you've got your ice, then if you can pour the ice in, and then sit with that for a while, just learning, and then breathe from the intercostals and get into a meditation that you're fine, and your brain is, that you are observing this process. Do a little HCRV, and you're breathing, and you're just allowing the healing to come to your body, right? Yeah. In a case of neuropathy where you have pain and cold, I wouldn't do ice. I would do only 60 degrees. Are all juniper bears? I buy them on Amazon, and they can be soaked in vodka, and that's basically gin. But again, I don't consume alcohol, so all my remedies are without alcohol. I only do teas. Yeah. We've been here over an hour, actually, Diane T. I'm sorry. Yes, Terry, I hear you. Yes, I hear you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, I just wasn't wanting to hear it then. But thank you, Terry. Thank you for your love and support and tolerance, which is impressive. Yes, insomnia. Well, why are you having the insomnia? We would want to remove the cause of the insomnia. It could be too much caffeine in the diet, too much sodium in the diet, too much anxiety. Making sure you exercise in the daytime will raise serotonin levels so that you can sleep at night. Not having a lot of stress would be good. But and then in terms of herbal teas that we like for insomnia, I do nice combinations of lemon balm and passion flower is nice, chamomile. Though chamomile I've found to be a diuretic. I drink a lot of chamomile at night. I find I'm running to the bathroom. But those are what we call the nervines, and they can be made, the nervine teas of passion flower. And also I find Siberian ginseng can create calm focus with the Siberian ginseng, even though it is adaptogen. But at night, I usually will do the passion flower, the chamomile. Valerian root is Valium. It's basically the same thing. And so I do have it in my medicinary, and it smells like dirty socks. I don't use it very often, but some people do benefit from it. Yes, you should be fine with fresh juniper. And though I like to dry it, you can dry it in your dryer, and then just seal it. Baking soda, I'm a Victorian person. I'm very Victorian. And so I practice Victorian, no nonsense, show up at the person's house. I do it through Zoom because, hey, it's modern living. But we have our herbs, our natural remedies, and a little baking soda. But the truth of the matter is your core is probably weak. And so if you're having hiatal hernia because you're losing abdominal strength, the muscles that around the lower esophageal sphincter can become lax, and that can cause hiatal hernia. So for that reason, we recommend Pilates and core strengthening. And we also recommend you be on a diet that is low in acid-forming foods. And in terms of aloe vera juice, also will put out the fire. So aloe vera and baking soda are my two go-tos for acid reflux. Oh, I love candles. Yeah, my coughing is I had pet dander, but the cat got treated, so I had COVID. It's actually almost gone, which is why I'm not coughing as much as I was. This what I'm sitting in, the chair has been treated. It was treated with an anti-dander, and I got a deep cleaning of the chair because I love this chair. So that I was reacting to the chair, and then I cleaned this with the anti-dander solution. I had a very nice warm bath for Mila that was not too hot, and it was a very comfortable warm. And I placed her in it, and she went, "Oh, this isn't bad." She didn't resist me. And then I gave her the allergy-free dander treatment. Um, and she was very proud of herself. Like she walked around, I got a bath. I got a bath. So that's when she loves to be spoiled like my baby. And so I washed her ears and her little with and gave her the scrubby anti-dander allergy treatment, and then we combed out her hair. And I kept praising her. You did so well in the bath. And then I did a bath. I got a bath. I got attention. And then I dried her off, and brushed her. And, but yeah, I've done a very deep cleaning of the house. And of course, I always have the HIPAA filter going. Um, but I'm so impressed by that anti-dander treatment that you guys recommended. It did work. By the way, she has dramatically reduced her shedding since I did that, and I brush her multiple times a day. So yeah, that got rid of my cough. But the main thing was I had COVID. I had COVID. I think I got it twice because my symptoms were actually worse when I got back from Portland. So I think I got hit again when I flew back. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, Diane. Yeah. In a case of COVID, I did see a doctor. I did Zoom. Don't go out and give it to anybody else, right? So isolate, have your stuff delivered, be responsible. Um, I did elderberry and mullein and sage. I mean, the herbs that I showed you guys, these are the herbs that I used to treat my condition. But of course, vaccination. Thank God I got vaccinated because had I not been vaccinated, I would have been intubated. Yeah, I would have been on life support if I had not been vaccinated because I had a very serious case of it. The vaccination keeps you from having a more severe case. And that's hard science. I can show people the data. But so the Greek mountain, is drying. I just ordered a bunch of more herbs, which I'm really excited about. A new stomach treatment for people with Crohn's, a nice herb that will not contradict whatever your doctors have placed you on. And I got some more licorice. And boy, do I go through the holy basil. Holy basil helps heal deep trauma in the soul, helps with soul retrieval work. So that is what I have learned about the holy basil. So I do go through it, and everyone gets a rose. That's my signature as an herbalist, is that I have these tiny roses, which is love, and I always will drop at least one in everyone's remedy. So people will often search, where's my rose? Oh, there's my rose. Because I always give a rose to all my patients. Yeah. All right, love and light to all of you. I think I'm going to go and clean the apartment. I'm going to finish my mantras. I have not done my mantras yet. If you need to see me as a doctor, all the information is below. Yes, your medicine is included. If you come to see me, you will get your medicine packet. If you need to see me as a remote viewer, that information is also below. Great to see you all. And thank you for being with me on this journey of health and healing and remote viewing. let's go forward. Let that be our new determination towards the world we want to create, and not continue to dwell on what was. All right. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you. Love and light. Peace out. And we'll see you next time. Bye.